Welcome back to another episode. I am Stix. This is my best friend and co-host D-Lo, and we are too complex. We got some really good topics for y'all today. One of them kind of controversial, but before we get into it, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We almost at 600, so make sure y'all hit that subscribe button if you're watching, and of course, make sure you hit that notification bell so you miss none of these bangers
Yes,
that we
sir.
drop every single week. D-Lo, what's good with you, my brother? How you doing,
Back
man?
with another one, baby.
Mm-hmm. What's been
What's up,
popping
man?
with you, bro?
Man.
First of all, I want to ask you, man, how did my nephew handle the dinosaurs? Because I seen the post. You feel me? I
Last week.
seen the post, but was he scared though? Because you know I'm a clown.
Nah, he actually wasn't. He was really excited. He was really into the dinosaurs. I'm glad you brought that up. So yeah, so it was a good experience for them, the actual dinosaur exhibit part.
Mm-hmm.
But they got us. They
What you
got
mean?
us. They got us. As much money as we paid for that, I mean, it wasn't like really expensive, but it was expensive. The dinosaurs, they were lifelike. I guess I'd never seen a dinosaur, and I only imagine they were that big in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So those were good, but everything else that was supposed to come with it, nah. So like there was supposed to be like kid games and whatnot.
No
it was
games?
like half-assed, bro.
Oh wow.
No, it was games, but it was like, stuff that we could have put together, and you know what I mean? And I'm not disrespect. I don't want to disrespect them or anything like that, but it really was not, to me, it wasn't worth the money that we paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
However, the kids did have good experiences, and like me and the wife were saying, for the things that we did buy them, the reaction that they had and the happiness that it brought them, it was worth it. But if it was just for us or something of the sort, highly disappointed.
I got you. So I know you've seen them videos on like Instagram or Facebook where the dinosaurs be moving around the crowd and screaming, and it'd be like actually like the dinosaurs are interacting with the people. It won't nothing like that. That's what I expected. I ain't gonna lie. That's what I expected.
Nah, I mean the dinosaurs were moving, but I mean like small movements, nothing major.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, but they weren't reacting with the crowd. It was just like small movements, like an eye blink here, or like the look like they're actually breathing, or I don't remember the names, but the long neck one, the platypus, I don't know what it is.
The brontosaurus?
Whatever. That long neck one, like he would swing his head slightly, but nothing drastic. Yeah. There was a small exhibit off in the corner that we didn't actually go see because there was a ton of people around it. Where I don't know if it was somebody inside of it, but it looked like a dinosaur was moving around over there.
Oh, okay. So that's what I was expecting. That's what I was
expecting. Yeah. Nah. It was one of those. Okay. I mean, it just for the amount of people that was there and for how much I know we paid for the kids' tickets, I can only imagine how much money because they were there for 3 days. I can only imagine how much money they're making. And then not to mention the profit that they're getting from that. So, yeah. And then it's just like they travel around the country. So I mean, I know like, I don't know like what they would spend on gas and the vehicles to move all of that equipment around. Because the people that were working there, some of the people that were working on the kids section, you can tell like they weren't actually with the exhibit. They were just somebody that they hired to pay minimum wage, maybe not even minimum wage, as a little temporary job. Like they had nothing to do with it. So I don't know, man. It was underwhelming to say the least. To me.
But that sucks. That sucks. Yeah. Well, I mean, but as long as the kids had a good time, as long as my niece and nephew had a good time, that's all that matters.
Yeah, nephew handled it well. We had him in a stroller. He wanted to get out that mug immediately.
So he did. I know.
He did. So he had a good time. He wasn't scared. I thought he would be, just because how he acts sometimes with certain things. But
he was cool. That's my dog. That's my dog. But yeah, man. But as far as my week, it wasn't uneventful, but it was as we talked about, prior to recording. But it was just kind of chill. I'm still going through the academy with my new job and all that other stuff, and it's one thing that this job is teaching me, and I don't know if I said it on the podcast before, but it's teaching me time management, and it's teaching me. I am a serial procrastinator, so this job is teaching me how, because I've never had a job to where I've had to keep a schedule, put something on the calendar, things of that nature, and this job is teaching me the value of actually scheduling out your time, because your time is what? Money. So the better you manage your time, the more money you're gonna make. So this job is definitely in theory, right? So this job is teaching me that theory front and back, bro. Every single day, it's like, okay, I got to find time to do this, and it's teaching me how not to procrastinate. You and Marcus had a conversation about that a couple of weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? You brought that conversation up, you know what I'm saying? And that is the one thing that I want to work on, is not procrastinating as much. So yeah, man, it's this job is teaching me a lot of valuable lessons and characteristics about myself and what I need to change. So I appreciate the job a lot. This academy need to get the hell on. Need to get the hell on.
What's wrong? What's up with it?
It's not that it's a bad thing. It just takes up so much time, bro. Like, it's literally all day, 2 days a week. But with the job, there's so many other meetings and so many other assignments that you got to do within the academy that I don't feel like, and this is why I said it's teaching me time management. I don't feel like I have time to actually prospect and do my job. Yep. And in the position that I'm in, I'm only expected to be in this position for a year, maybe 14, 15 months before I graduate to the next step. But where I'm at right now is like, I don't have the time to do what you want me to do to graduate to that step. At least in my mind, I don't. But talking to my manager and my practice leader, it's like, dude, you just got to manage your time better. That's it, really, basically. So that's it. So that's why it's teaching me that lesson. So, okay. But it just takes up so much time out of the day, bro. Like, out of the week, it takes up so much time. And I'm just like, bro, I don't have time to call these people and try to get meetings and sell nothing to these motherfuckers, because I don't have, you know what I'm saying? But we talked about it, so everything should be cool. But everything's straight. I mean, it's a good academy to be in, but it's just like, I know I need to learn these things. I get it, but what y'all want me to do, I can't do if I'm here. Type shit. So it's just a give and take type of thing. Yeah.
I mean, everything in life is a yin and a yang balance, order in the chaos.
Yep. So for sure. So everything's cool in that. Everything's cool in that regard.
I meant to tell you. So I feel very disrespected.
By me?
But it's not not by you. Not by you. I feel disrespected by my wife.
Oh, okay.
This is a funny story. So it happens every year. She doesn't say this every year, but we know light-skinned people in the wintertime, that tan goes away. She actually told me, and if y'all know me, or if those are listening, my wife ain't the darkest person in the world. By no stretch. She said, y'all looking a little pasty, talking to me and my daughter. She's like, y'all looking a little bright. Y'all need some sun. Coming from you? Excuse me?
Coming from the lightest person in the house?
Excuse me? Let's rethink that now. She always tell me to think about what I say and reconstruct my sentences. You might want to rethink what you just said there.
My reaction would have been the same reaction I gave the doctor. I'd have been like, the Nick Young, like,
what?
What are you talking about?
Come on, man.
But I mean, around this time, ain't that much sun to have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so, like,
I know. So I need a vacation. Needless to say, we need to go somewhere sunny and tropical.
Man, me and my lady been saying the same thing. So we might need to do a couples retreat or something soon, my boy. I ain't gonna lie. We need to do something, because I need to get out of Washington for a little while. And I've been telling you I'm planning a trip. So we need to try something. We need to do something, brother.
You weren't supposed to say that, but okay.
No, she knows, but she don't know when. That's the essential part.
I got you. All right.
Because I don't even know when, but it's gonna be a surprise.
I got you.
We're gonna figure it out. But
I got you.
But nah, man, yeah.
So last week we talked about the GOAT debate within football, or the royalty. Patrick Mahomes being a part of NFL royalty.
Right.
This week I found out some news that I don't know if Patrick Mahomes could ever truly be the GOAT as I thought he could be.
What did you find out,
did you know Tom Brady handed Patrick Mahomes his first regular season loss, his first playoff loss, and his first Super Bowl loss?
I did not know that. What? I guess in theory I did know because I watched all the games, a lot of football. So I guess I did know if I really thought about it, but I never heard the stat put that way. But that's crazy. I didn't.
That's crazy, right? The first season Patrick Mahomes was a starter. In week 6, he lost to the Patriots 43-40. So the Patriots 43, obviously.
I remember that game.
They went. Patrick Mahomes, his whole 6 years, he's been in the AFC Championship. They went to the AFC Championship, met Tom Brady and the Patriots, and lost 37-7. The next year, he goes on to win the Super Bowl against the 49ers. Mm-hmm. And then in 2020, he goes back to the Super Bowl and loses to Tom Brady. 31-9 when Tom Brady's with Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, so for me, I don't know. I mean, he can put up as many, we talk about, and this to me, why the NBA GOAT debate is pointless, because most of those individuals never played against each other.
True.
Like the one that's highly talked about right now, Bron and Jordan, they never played against each other. So, right? They never played against each other.
I don't think they did. I'm pretty sure they didn't, but let me make sure.
Because Jordan retired in 2023. Bron came in the league in 2003. I'm sorry, 2003. Damn. Yeah. Recency bias. So they never played against each other, but these two individuals played extensively against each other, and Tom Brady handed Patrick Mahomes his first loss in everything, realistically.
So no, they never played against each other. Yeah, and you're right. He did great. He did retire in 03.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what Patrick Mahomes' record is against Tom Brady, but for that type of stat to come out is to me like, can he really be the GOAT?
And that makes sense though, what you just said though, D-Lo, because the GOAT has played against the up and coming GOAT on numerous occasions in football.
Right.
But the GOAT, well, who everybody considers the GOAT, has never played against the up and coming GOAT in the Michael Jordan and LeBron situation. So, you have
Kobe and LeBron have played against each other.
Kobe and LeBron have played against each other, which Kobe is the other person they try to put in that GOAT category.
Right.
Which we had a conversation about that a couple of weeks back about, hey, if you ain't one or two, then you ain't in the conversation, which is what Gilbert Arenas said. But yeah, I mean that makes sense. So, should we kill the GOAT debate in basketball then, since Jordan and LeBron ain't never played against each other?
I mean, that's what
it will never die, but
that's what a lot of players say though, is silly to really compare eras, because a lot of these people didn't get a chance to play against each other, and skill sets have evolved from the start of basketball until now. And so, I mean, somebody that was great in their era could very well, with the technological advances and all of that jazz, come into this era and play great. We would automatically assume that the ones that are now go back in eras would play, would be absolutely dominant in those eras. So I mean, skill sets don't always translate across eras, but I don't know. I don't think it's hard to say who is the GOAT of something, because it's all subjective, and we're going to have a conversation about subjectivity here shortly with another topic that we talk about. But it's all subjective. It's really, as we've said, people take small nuances of stats and say this is why somebody's great. We need to find something that says, okay, these people, because of these stats, absolutely can be in the conversation, and then from there determine who is the GOAT of whatever. But just allowing,
But like we talked about 2 weeks ago, the goalpost steady moves. The conversation forever changes. So whenever we're talking about this GOAT category, it's like there's never going to be somebody who keeps it stationary and says there's never going to be bullet points that say this is what categorizes a GOAT. There's never going to be that, because it's going to be somebody who looks at those bullet points and say, well, got to throw this in there. Then you got to throw this in there. Then you got to keep putting stuff in the cup and in the bucket. and it's going to always overflow because it's never anything steady. So the conversation is always going to be ever changing. It makes no sense to me. So that's why
the faucet is always on.
The faucet is, but you know what that means.
Yeah.
But nah, man, it's a weird conversation to have. That's why we stay away from it. But I know who my GOAT is. Like, and it's funny because our boy Lorenzo, no mad hoops, you know what I'm saying? Zobi One Kenobi. Shout out to you. He put it in three categories: the GOAT, a GOAT, and my GOAT. Yep. And he said Mike is the GOAT, LeBron is a GOAT, and Kobe is his GOAT. So my GOAT is LeBron James. That guy right LeBron James 21. But but yeah, man, it's a weird conversation to have, bro. But and to your point, I agree with you. I don't think he'll ever be able to catch Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I have to look at the record against Tom Brady, even though it's a team sport, but for whatever reason, quarterbacks are looked at for their record. Nobody else really is. I'd have to look at the record against each other to see what Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady's record are to really determine. But for him to hand him his first loss in every step of the way for football, regular season, postseason, and Super Bowl, I don't know.
Head to head, they're 3-3.
Oh, so I mean, yeah. So it has. Well, that's everything, right? That's including both regular season,
all times they played. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I mean. Have they ever met another time in the Super Bowl?
I don't believe so. I think they met that one time in the Super Bowl, and then the next year, Tom played again, and then he retired after that season. So because he retired in 21, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
So we also on this podcast. We talk extensively about women's sports, especially women's basketball, whether it be college or the professional WNBA. Sometimes we mix both of them together. Today is going to be one of those days. Because there are a couple of players in the NCAA that have showcased that they're ready to play in the WNBA right now. But the WNBA has a rule in place where you have to be 4 years removed from high school and have attended a 4-year university or graduated from a 4-year university within 3 months of, or will be graduating from college within the 3 months of the WNBA draft. Or if you are just 4 years removed, your graduating class has to be that year. And again, same rules apply for the 3 months before the WNBA draft. So right now, the NCAA, you have JuJu Watkins, freshman for the University of South Carolina, Southern California. That's the other USC is the University of South Carolina. And anyway. So JuJu Watkins scored 51 points against Stanford last week, who, I mean, I don't think they're having a great season, but just 2 years ago, they won the national championship. They also have a good player on their team as well, who ESPN considers the second best player in the nation, I think as of December. But she almost outscored the whole Stanford team by herself. The score was 67-58, and she had 51 of those 67 points. And then we also know about Caitlin Clark, who is about to break the scoring record, and then a host of other individuals. Caitlin Clark is a senior, but, we'll get into that here shortly. Anyway, Stix, my question to you is, do you think it's time for the WNBA to change their age restriction rules to match those of the NBA?
So I'm on two sides of this, D-Lo. I'm on two sides of this. Because we've been talking ad nauseum to some extent about the NIL, right? And we have talked a little bit. We've had segments about the WNBA and the women's pay gap and how it's never made any money, things of that nature. And their players aren't getting paid the same as NBA players because the product is not the same. So I'm going to say that they should change the rule, because that rule is, to me, is crazy. Because if the men can come out after their freshman year, they can be one and done. Why can't the women do that? Especially if you're playing like a Caitlin Clark, like a JuJu. If you're playing like these women and you clearly see that you are worth playing in the WNBA, then why not give them the opportunity to go do that? But with NIL, why the hell would they do that? Because they are making millions of dollars in NIL deals in college for these 4 years before they can even be eligible to go to the WNBA. And we've talked about how Angel Reese ain't even thinking about going to the WNBA because she probably ain't gonna make nearly as much money as she would with these NIL deals, because the contracts in the WNBA ain't nowhere close to what they're making right now in college. So if they're making millions per year, or if they have contracts for the 4 years where they're making millions of dollars, why the hell would they worry about going to the WNBA if they're not going to make nearly that much money? I say that they should change the rule, yes, because there's girls in college right now that are balling that would probably put up, if not the same, very, very close to the same numbers in the WNBA. But why would they go? To be perfectly honest with you, why would they do that? The women have no incentive right now with the way the WNBA is being subsidized by the NBA. That's the only reason why they're still alive, why they're still a thriving league, because the WNBA subsidizes them so much. They literally average a deficit every year of over $10 million. So they're being subsidized by the NBA because the product, people, don't get me wrong. I went to a Seattle Storm game. Me and my daughter, we had a great time. It was a great game. I enjoyed myself thoroughly, but it's just not the same product as an NBA game. It's not the same athleticism. It's not the same atmosphere. It's not the same anything, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, it's still basketball, but on a different type of level. Like, I still feel like I'm watching college basketball, but it's not the same. So the fact that they're not making money and they don't have enough money to continue to pay their athletes great contracts, then why would they be incentivized to even have that rule put in place and then say, okay, I can go to the WNBA after my freshman year. I have a contract in place for 4 years where I'm making $4 million. So I would get $1 million a year for 4 years. Then I can go to I can go to WNBA where I can make $200,000 a year. Why would they do that? That's just not good business sense. So what I say is what I've been talking about for a long time within myself, within this channel, is those girls need to have somebody in their corner telling them how to manage their money while they're in college, make good investments, make good savings decisions, manage your money well in college. So that way, whenever you do go to WNBA, you're making less than what you were making in college, you'll still have that money rolling over. So that's what I believe. But should they change the rule? Yes. Are they incentivized to do it? Hell no. What you think?
So I'm with you for most of it. When we're talking about the talent pool and the availability of that talent pool for them to go to the WNBA, younger talent, not just the 22-year-olds, they absolutely should change it, because the WNBA recently has seen an uptick in their attendance and their viewership. Last year, they saw the attendance increase by 16%. Their average viewers for their national partners was 21%, right? Okay. So, for whatever reason, the WNBA, and that sounds bad when I say it, but I don't mean any harm when I say for whatever reason. But for whatever reason, the WNBA is starting to get more attention. And for me, you can get even more attention by allowing players that are ready to come into the league when they are 19 rather than 22 to take advantage of the hype that they've built within college, like Caitlin Clark.
Okay.
Caitlin Clark has been balling like this since she was a freshman.
32 points right now, the highest.
She averaging 32 points right now. When she was a freshman, let me make sure I'm saying this right. So JuJu right now is averaging 27.3 points as a freshman. Caitlin Clark was averaging 26.6 points as a freshman. So she's been balling like this.
Balling like this for the past 4 years. Yeah, exactly.
For the past 4 years, right? She's about to break the scoring record. So you don't think, and the NIL just came into effect in 2021, I think, or 2020, one of the two, right? So when Caitlin Clark first got into college, the NIL wasn't really thriving like this. It just started getting like this the last 2 years, like where these kids are getting crazy money.
Right.
So at that time, I know the WNBA was probably making less than what they make now also, but any money probably would have been better than going to class every day and not really focusing on what you love to do. Right. And so now, of course, yeah, if I'm getting an NIL deal, yeah, why would I go to the WNBA right now when I can make $1 million+ a year? Or let's just say they don't get $1 million a year. Let's say they get $500,000 or 400, close to $200,000, or a little bit above $2,000. I mean, why do I need to go to the WNBA? I can just sit right here. I'll find a way to pass my classes if I don't really care about school like that. I just want to play basketball. And then when I'm ready to go to the WNBA, I'll already have a little nest egg and I can go to the WNBA and do whatever. So, I mean, talent-wise, I think they absolutely should change that rule just to give the women an option to go to the WNBA if they would like to. You know, some people don't really care about money like that, or their parents or their family don't really need the money. So it is what it is. But I think they should definitely have the option to go. On the flip side of it, though, I think the WNBA knows that they aren't in the place to pay the athletes that are part of their league the type of money that they need for the length of careers that some of them typically have. Now, I think the WNBA is a little bit different than most other professional leagues. Like most women in the WNBA, the good ones anyway, or at least the halfway decent ones, they play for at least 6+ years, I want to say. I don't know. I didn't look that stat up. If you can look it up for me, that'd be great.
5
but I mean,
years.
like 5 years. And so every other league, the average is like 2 to 3 years, right?
Yep.
So their lifespan is a little bit different in the WNBA. However, they're not making nowhere near the amount of money that the men are making in any other sport. Like for basketball, let me look this stat up too. I looked at basketball. The average salary is, where'd I put it? Yeah, the average salary. This is crazy. The average contract in the WNBA is $9.7 million, which is the highest.
NBA or WNBA?
In the NBA.
Okay.
The average salary contract is $9.7 million.
Okay.
That's the highest average salary of any professional league in the world.
Got you. Even over soccer?
Yes.
That's crazy. Okay, go ahead.
At least that's the stat that I saw. In the WNBA, the average salary is $113,000, $295,000. Which, you know, if that's a secure 9-to-5 job that you feel like you can have, which no job is really secure nowadays. But you know, if that's a job that you think you can have for 10+ years, that's a great salary.
It's not bad,
but
right?
But when you're talking about a professional athlete whose lifespan isn't that long, typically, that's not really something that you can put really much stock into. So I feel like the WNBA knows that they can't offer much to the women that play the game for them. And so for that reason, they're requiring them to go to school, at least have attended a university, try to obtain a degree, and then come to the league. That way, if it doesn't work out, well, at least you have, so it's now I'm talking through this and it's a lot different now.
It's complex.
It's a lot different now because a lot of companies aren't requiring you to have a degree anymore.
Fact. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
Right. So it's a lot different now because I don't know. So I mean, I still feel like they should allow it to be there for should have that option to go if they want to leave early. But they are trying to protect the players in the long run, so that you have something to fall back on, because we aren't able to offer you $1 million contracts like other professional leagues. So therefore, your short lifespan in our league, you're going to make money, but it's not going to be anything that after you leave, you can still not worry about your family, taking care of your family or whatever else moving forward. So,
but yeah, man, I mean, but shout out to JuJu Watkins, man. I mean, this girl was named Naismith Player of the Week, ESPN Women's Hoop Player of the Week, both the Pac-12 Player of the Week and Freshman Player of the Week this past week. And then on Tuesday, she was named the Associated National Player of the Week for the second time this season. She's a freshman that's only played 12 games. So yeah, she going crazy. Does she have the talent? Does she deserve to go to WNBA? Yes.
Absolutely.
But with that, I don't know what her NIL evaluation is. I haven't looked that up. But if she's making, D-Lo said between 113 and 235 is the average salary in the WNBA. If she's making more than 235, if she's
235 is the highest, right?
Yeah, 235 is the high for what I think. I think I heard you say that. But if she's making 235,
no, I didn't say that. I just know that's the highest the highest contract is 235,
and I think that's Brittany
the 113. I said,
or am I tripping?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
And the 113 is the average because there's somebody making $60,000 in the WNBA.
Well, yeah, I mean.
Right.
But that's even higher than the median income in the nation right now. So
it's good money. Right. But when you think about a professional athlete,
correct. That's kind of crazy. If you think the average salary in the NBA is $9 million, so that's insane. But does she deserve? Does she have the talent to go to the WNBA? Would she probably make close to what that Brittany Griner 235 is? Possibly. But if her NIL evaluation averages her $500,000 a year, why the hell would she go to the WNBA? To me, that doesn't make
dope.
It doesn't make sense. What would you see?
This is dope. She uses it doesn't. I don't know the evaluation, but I just typed in her NIL deal. She uses her Nike NIL deal to give back to the community. So that's dope. She actually she uses it to give gifts of shoes and gear to local high schools.
Dope.
Which she went to Sierra Canyon, but I think she's from. Where is she actually from? Yeah, I'm gonna find that as well. But she gives back to local high schools around the Los Angeles area, typically Compton, those type of schools, Compton area, Watts. That's dope.
That's dope. Nah, the fact that she's using it to give back is dope. I'm pretty sure she's saving some of that as well. But but to use the majority of it to get back to the community is hella fire. But I mean, what do y'all think? I mean, in the comments, y'all tell us if they change the rule, are the women incentivized to go to the WNBA after their first year? Me personally, I don't think they're incentivized to do so because they're not making enough money in the WNBA to subsidize what they would be losing out in NIL deals in the college. Like, why would they do that? I don't believe it's smart, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, we said it, or we mentioned what another player has already mentioned on another podcast platform. Angel Reese said, I'm not in any rush to go to the WNBA, especially with the amount of NIL deals that they have right now. So they really aren't incentivized to go. Even sometimes, even the guys aren't incentivized to go. If you just enjoy being, having the college experience, not really have to worry about too many responsibilities, staying in college, and if you're able to collect a NIL check, is not a bad deal whatsoever. But it's just something about saying that I'm a professional athlete is something that's like most kids aspire to be if you're heavily involved in sports. So I think, and for me, I think that's why they should at least have that option, because you never know. Next week could be a player that's highly regarded as last time playing whatever sport they're playing with some freak injury. So for me to have the ability to say that I was a professional athlete like you know what I'm saying? You can say I was a professional athlete. Now, it might not have been an extensive career, but I was a professional athlete. I got paid to do what I've done my whole life for a living. I can't say that. I you know what I mean? So
I feel you.
It's just, I feel like they should have that option, but I think the WNBA is probably looking out for them in the long run.
I agree.
But yeah,
I agree. Moving on to the next topic, D-Lo. We're going a little bit entertainment with this one because there is a very, very popular streamer named Kai Cenat who does reaction videos. He's a streamer that does a lot of everything on his stream, from dancing to bringing on celebrities to gaming to giveaways, 24-hour streams. Like he's the biggest streamer on Twitch as of right now.
He's done 24-hour streams before?
He's done like literally on stream for 24 hours. Yes, he's done that. Insane. So everybody knows the Grammys just came and went, and Killer Mike won Album of the Year. And Kai Cenat went on, and because the younger streamers these days are what we call them Gen Z now. They're like, between the ages of 20 and maybe 25. The ones that are really popping. I mean, I would say 20 and 30. The ones that are really popping for real. And they don't necessarily know who Killer Mike is. And for those that don't, who watch our show, and I think everybody who watches our show does know who Killer Mike is, he's more of a conscious rapper, not necessarily within the hype or the mainstream of what actual rap is today, with your Travis Scotts of the world, 21 Savages of the world, even the Drakes of the world. Killer Mike is a little bit more conscious as far as what he talks about in his rap. D-Lo listened to the album. He said it was fire. I didn't personally listen to it, but I know who Killer Mike is. And before I keep going, D-Lo, do you think he deserved Album of the Year?
That album was, yes. The album was good.
Cool.
But it was, I'll get into it. Go ahead.
Right. But so Kai Cenat went on to say that respect to the old niggas for sure. Respect to them for sure. The only thing I would say is I was wrong at doing my research about Killer Mike and shit like that. But in the moment, if I want to voice my opinion, I'm going to voice my opinion 100%. And that's some people's problem. Y'all don't ever let the young dudes flourish. The young dudes think Utopia, which was Travis Scott's album, was fire. Let the young dudes think Utopia was fire. So a lot of them were saying that Travis Scott deserved to win over Killer Mike, which I listened to Utopia. Utopia was okay. It wasn't crazy good. It had some really good songs on there, and it was a good album. I can't really talk because I hadn't listened to Killer Mike, which it's inspiring me to go listen to him now. But I hadn't listened to it. But I know the type of rapper Killer Mike is, and I'm going to assume his album was what D-Lo said was fire. But Joe Budden snapped back at the young streamers, and he said, "Y'all little streaming, I'm going to say dudes, all don't always run shit." He said, "Shut the fuck up. We don't care about none of your little streaming, mosh pit, Mark Carr, whatever you niggas is doing over there." He said
you go bleep it out earlier.
I know, but I had to roll with it. He said Utopia. He said more like Utopia. Yeah. I'm just so happy that the streaming, the little fuckity fucks finally have a look in the mirror moment and say, "Oh, it's not about us." No, adults are out. Dudes got pocket handkerchiefs on some fly shit. Yeah, real execs, business people, you little fuckity fucks. So, D-Lo, my question to you is, do the older hip-hop heads not respect the streamers' opinions about what actual hip-hop is? And is it kind of like a get off my lawn moment whenever it comes to this conversation?
So I feel like this particular topic is truly opinion-based. There's no real
100%.
Evidence or facts that are involved with this. And so, in my opinion, I don't feel like Joe's response or rebuttal to what Kai and those like Aiden felt about the actual album is rooted solely in hip hop. I think it's rooted in a little bit of jealousy, if we're being honest, a little bit of hate, because the young streamers, as we know, they get to the money.
100%.
And they compete with podcasts without actually having to be considered a podcast. Joe has even mentioned it on his podcast a couple of times. He doesn't even want to call his podcast a podcast anymore because of the negative connotation that is seen with it. So many people have podcasts now. So many people get to voice their opinion. He wants to separate himself from that. He calls himself a broadcast, right?
Okay.
So,
got you.
So I feel like it's a little bit of jealousy with the amount of influence that the young streamers have, the amount of love that the young streamers get from their fans. And, yes, the hip hop side of it feels like, because the young crowd doesn't know who Killer Mike is and didn't give him the due respect that he needs, then they should use that time. Joe should use that time to downplay their taste in music, and also to let them know exactly what hip hop is. I mean, we have our opinion on what the young crowd listens to. We don't necessarily shun it, but we don't listen to everything they listen to. There are some songs that catch our ear from the younger, what the young crowd listens to, but for the vast majority of it, we don't really listen to that stuff. So I don't feel like what Joe said is really rooted in strictly hip hop. Because you think about it, the first thing he said was, "You young streaming, right? Y'all don't." What did he say? Yo, you young streaming.
Y'all don't always run shit.
Y'all don't exactly. Y'all don't always run stuff, and we know just midsummer, couple months ago, Joe was beating his chest for being the number one personality in media, right? So that's influence. But now you have to think about just outside of hip hop media. You got to think about who else's influences, because you're not only competing with people in hip hop, you're competing with other people that have an influence in the world. So in order to get your name up there, you got to make sure, sometimes you got to make sure other people keep their name down. So I feel like it's a little bit rooted in the hate.
It's very much rooted in hate, man, because the streamers, the most popular streamers, like your Aiden Rosses of the world, your Kai Cenats, your Duke Dennis's, those type of guys who pull in 20, 30, 50, 100K live viewers every stream, they have influence. So I was watching a video on YouTube, and basically when I was doing my research in this, and as much as we don't necessarily respect Buddy, but DJ Academics came up in the actual video, and he was like, these record execs are offering Kai Cenat dumb money to react to different songs and trying to make sure that his buzz is the actual, like, the what's the word I'm looking for? His buzz is what elevates, basically, for lack of a better word, whether or not they want to put this on radio or whether or not they want to put this single out. So but Kai Cenat turns the money down because he don't want to be that type of dude. He wants his reactions to be genuine reactions, because that's what his audience loves. So when DJ Academic said it, I was like, yo, like, they have more influence than we actually think on the hip hop community. But with Joe Budden being the old school, he got hits. He's had records. He's actually made money in the community. Pump it up here, there. But he's
no disrespect to Joe.
And no disrespect. He had a good career whenever when he had Pump It Up, when he was with Slaughterhouse. So he had a good career. Yeah. But this ain't, to be perfectly honest with you, and I'm one of those old head ass. We the old head dudes now. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, these young dudes got way more influence than we got, honestly, than we've ever had. So I'm not going to be that get off my lawn dude whenever I know that these dudes are pulling in live viewers over the 50. I stream sometimes. I don't pull in 50,000 viewers ever. Never have done it. So these dudes have influence. And if
in totality,
no
shade to you.
No. And that's fine. I think the most viewers I had at one time was like 20. Let alone get 50,000. 50,000. But this dude, every time he streams, he's got 20, 30, 40, 50,000 viewers, and he has influence. So these dudes are what the young generation is watching right now. And if they have an influence on the game and they say Utopia was dope, the young generation going to think Utopia was dope as well. I don't even think there's a lot of dudes who know who Nas is, or who they know who Jay-Z is.
They better know who Nas is, bro.
But some of them don't know who Nas is. Some of them don't really know who Andre 3000 is. Some of them don't know who Killer Mike is. Some of the guys don't know who really came up in the hip hop game and set the culture for real. So
because they wasn't born in the height of their careers, right?
Exactly. So now they have people like Killer Mike. I'm not Killer Mike, but Travis Scott running the game, 21 Savage running the game, Kodak Black, Lil Yachty, Drake. Like, they came up. They were born in that generation where these guys were coming up. So now it's like they think that these are their favorite rappers, whenever there were people before them that came that were way doper and had way more lyrics and had better music. Because if I ever hear somebody say Sexy Red is their favorite rapper, I might kick him in the chest 300 style. I'm not gonna lie, because that's not hip hop to me. Like, the music now, like D-Lo said, we don't listen to that bullshit. But Travis Scott is somebody who I actually listened to, and I thought Utopia was a good album, but I can't pass my judgment on whether or not it's better than Killer Mike joint. But
see, that's the misconception though, and I think the general public doesn't know that, and we'll talk about that with one of our up and coming topics too. But that is not how the Grammys considers who has the best album. It's not if the actual album itself, if the general public thinks it's dope or not.
Very true.
It's they really base it on the art of the album.
Agreed.
And so
but do they though? But we'll talk about that in a minute. But go ahead.
Yeah. But so if the members of the Grammy Recording Artists Association, I think it's called, if they don't think you've put any artistry in the album, they're not going to vote it as the best album, right? According to what one person, the CEO of the Grammy said. So that being said, like Utopia probably was a decent album. I didn't listen to Utopia. I've never really been a true Travis Scott fan. I've listened to him here and there if something catches my ear, but I'm not going to sit and listen to his whole album. And so, but I did listen to Killer Mike's album, and you can tell he put a lot of time, worked with a lot of different individuals to get into the true art of it. And it resonates with certain individuals more than just art because of the lyrics and whatnot. But I don't know. I think with Kai Cenat's reaction to it, it wasn't off of just the true artistry of it. It was just how it makes him feel. It was the popularity of it. And okay, I know I liked it. And I know the type of influence I have, but I know what my generation listens to. How can somebody like Killer Mike win album of the year over, or rap album of the year over Travis Scott's Utopia? Utopia was dope. That's not how they rate and say, oh, this person should win album of the year.
Right, and Kai Cenat also mentioned a couple of other albums, like For All the Dogs, like Utopia, and I'm like, okay, the albums that you were naming were not, they were good, but they weren't like I didn't think For All the Dogs was great. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think Utopia was great. You know what I'm saying? I might have to listen to Killer Mike and determine whether or not that was a great album or if it deserved to win it, which you say he did. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take my brother's word for it. Like D-Lo listened to music just like I listen to music, and he thought it was great.
And we all have our biases, right?
We do. We all have our opinion as well. Yeah. So
exactly. I'm sure you're about to say this. So we can't discredit what the young generation is saying just because we feel how we feel about the music that we want to listen to. 100%. Just like our parents used to look at us like, what the hell are you listening to? This is terrible. Right. Exactly. Turn this off. We're not listening to this. So we are now our parents. Like, what are y'all listening to? And the funny thing is we talking about 22-year-olds. We ain't that much older than them. So we really, but I mean, if you think about it, if you think about how 22 compared to how old we had kids at 16, I mean, it's possible, but realistically, we ain't that much older than them.
I got you. I hear you.
So like, I don't know, man. I definitely think Joe's reaction was rooted in a little bit of hate, and then he also had Killer Mike on his show. So
yeah. And
so
I don't think he's ever had Travis Scott on the show. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think he has. You watch his show more.
Nah, but he does have members of his show that loves Travis Scott, but also felt how we felt or how you felt. It's like the album wasn't that great. So,
got you. So I mean, it's one of those things where it's like but it also So it also goes back to what we've been saying for a couple of weeks on the show. Is like, why in our community is it us against each other? Because why can't the young guys just shine, bro? Like, I appreciate what Kai Cenat does in his stream. I appreciate what Joe Budden does in his stream. Why can't it be? Yeah, let the young dude have his shine. Let the young dude have his opinion. He thought Utopia was great. I thought Killer Mike's was better. Killer Mike deserved to win the album. Let it be what it is, man. Because Kai Cenat was like, bro, I can buy you. That's how much money he making off streaming. So I can buy you. Like, but he was like, bro, I be minding my business, and it be dudes like Joe Budden that just pop up and want to start shit. And I'm just like, let the young dudes shine, bro. Do they thing. Like, I don't have no problem with. And
we do it to ourselves, man.
We do.
We do it to ourselves,
bro.
Because Joe, like you said, Joe started that rant with you young boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so naturally, what is the young crowd going to respond with? You old, right? You know what I mean?
Facts.
So like we do it to ourselves. We had this conversation last week. Like, why do we shun getting old so much? And now it's starting. It always plays out this way. We talk about something, and the next week it unfolds in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
Like we do it to ourselves. If we just allow them to, because we made mistakes when we was young.
100%.
Joe definitely made some mistakes when he was young. He had
100%.
a great career. He had a career that's a lot more has a lot more notoriety than what we had in ours. But he definitely made some mistakes in his young life. These young people gonna make they mistakes, man. We're supposed to be there to guide them through that. Yeah, sometimes they need a little bit of heavier hand when it comes to how they're reprimanded. But for the most part, they gonna make mistakes just like we made mistakes in life. So we shouldn't be like, you young, even though we do it in a playful way, you and I. But I don't know, man. We do it to ourselves.
It is definitely hate, bro. But Kai Cenat, keep doing your thing. Joe Budden, keep doing your thing, man. Because shout out to y'all, because y'all both have platforms that we aspire to have. So, but just keep the hate and the back and forth and the drama and the controversy between somebody else's opinion over yours that don't make no sense to me. People gonna have their opinions, bro. They're like assholes. Like everybody, like the cliche say, everybody has one. So like, why are we denigrating one person over their opinion because it's not the same as yours, because you feel like hip hop is one way and somebody else thinks it's another? It's a different generation, bro. It's different music out here. The hip hop ain't as good as it used to be, in my opinion. But there's a generation that's gonna love the music that they're hearing, and let them have their opinion. That's all I say.
Yeah. Sticking with the Grammys and Album of the Year. So Jay-Z letting the Grammys know that his wife has never won the prestigious Album of the Year award while owning the most Grammys ever, while he was receiving a Grammy award himself. How we feel about that, Stix?
Bro, it's crazy because I think she was kind of embarrassed, just the way you see her sitting in the crowd, like, oh shit, this nigga is, because he said when I get nervous, I tell the truth. So and he said he was nervous, but he said he didn't want to embarrass her, but he did. But I
think she gets embarrassed easily, though.
I think she does. When she's not on stage, she gets embarrassed easy. Yeah. But she has 32 Grammys, bro. 32 Grammys. So I looked up what, some of the albums that she was nominated for. It was Sasha Fierce, the self-titled Beyoncé album, the Lemonade album, and the Renaissance album. She lost to Beck for Morning Phase. Lemonade lost to Adele, which I listened to Adele. Adele's 25 album was fire. I'm not gonna lie, it was dope. Renaissance lost to Harry Styles for Harry's House, and she also lost. Sasha Fierce lost to Taylor Swift's Fearless. So, I'm not a Swiftie. I'm not even a Beehiver, but I heard Fearless was fire too.
You are by guilt by association.
I'm guilty by association because my lady is a Beehiver, so I guess I'm a Beehiver too. But I don't necessarily listen to a lot of the music that she lost. Well, I don't listen to any of the music that she lost these album of the years to, except for Adele. So, did she deserve to win some of these? Probably. But just like D-Lo said in the previous segment, they base off the art of the music, the time and the art and what you put into these albums is what they actually. It's not about a popularity contest. Is Beyonce popular than all of these people she lost? More popular than all people that she lost to? Yes, 100%. But if we went by popularity, Utopia would have won Album of the Year, just like we were talking about. But it's not a popularity contest when it comes to the Grammys. It's about the art of the music. So if the Grammys felt like that Fearless or Morning Phase or 25 or Harry's House was more artful than Sasha Fierce, Beyonce, Lemonade, or Renaissance, then it deserved to win over Beyonce. But I do big up Jay-Z for standing up for his wife. The same thing we said last week about Ye and his wife. If I feel like my wife is being wronged, and like you said, by definition, it don't work, because if she's got the most Grammys, then she should have a best album. But just because she won Song of the Year or Artist of the Year or something of that nature doesn't mean she deserves to win Album of the Year either. But big up to Jay-Z for standing up for his wife, embarrassing her a little bit, but it's standing up for his wife and saying that it don't work, and he calling out the Grammys, because there's been artists in the past that's called the Grammys out, Eminem being one of the notable ones too, which is the reason why he don't go. So it's like, I think I ain't gonna say that because I don't want to put words in his mouth because I don't think it's true, but there's been artists in the past that have called him out, and for numerous reasons. So maybe they need to change their voting process. What you think? How you feel about Jay-Z standing up for his wife?
So first off, it must be super freeing, or you must be really free to stand on stage while you're receiving an award from the very association that you're calling out. Has to be a freeing feeling, right?
Gotta be.
Or it just, that's how much power you have. Or
I was about to say that. It's got to be Jay-Z's
or how much
power.
I don't give a F. I don't care. One of the three. It's freeing or all of the above. It's either or, right? But I think Jay-Z definitely has a point with his statements. So in his speech, he says she has more Grammys than anyone and never won Album of the Year by your own metric that doesn't work. And he's right to some degree. If you think about professional sports, if a player was to NBA player, let's go NBA because that's what everybody knows. If a player was to be scoring champion, defensive player of the year, led the league in assists, wouldn't he be the MVP of the league? And so in the Grammy, and with the Grammys, the Album of the Year is a prestigious award. It's like the MVP, right? And so I did a little bit of research just like you did. At first, I couldn't find how many actual Grammys she's won in totality. I saw different numbers, but the number is 32. She has 32 total Grammys. Her first official solo album, she won 5 Grammys that year, including contemporary Album of the Year. Not Album of the Year, but contemporary. So she was in the
Which
pocket.
album was that?
The first one, which was Dangerously in Love.
Okay, gotcha.
Dangerously in Love. She won 5 Grammys.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, and if what the CEO, which his name is, what is his name? The CEO, his name is, dang, where's that?
Of the Grammys?
Harvey. Yeah, it's Harvey something. Harvey Mason Jr.
Okay.
Is his name.
Got you.
I believe. Make sure. Yeah, Harvey Mason Jr. So if we're talking about exactly what Harvey Mason Jr. said in regard to how they vote on Album of the Year, or just how people win Grammys in as a whole, they vote on the art of the award, right? For that award. So if she can win 5 Grammys in her first album, and if they're voting off of just the sheer art of the project, how can she not get Album of the Year if she can win 5 Grammys off of one album, and even win a subset of Album of the Year with contemporary Album of the Year? So as Jay-Z said, by their own metric, that doesn't make sense.
True. That's true.
But on the flip side of it, I could see how if she was, every album she put out, she was always winning 5 awards and getting Album of the Year, how that would be so boring and so like upsetting to other fan bases and other artists out there. If every time Beyonce puts an album, we know she's going to get Album of the Year, right? That would get so mundane, just like in the NBA.
I was about to say, just like in the
NFL,
just like NFL, when the Patriots win all those championships, everybody was like, "Damn, can somebody else win?" Right?
Exactly, exactly. Like realistically, if we're being truly honest, Giannis probably should have won the MVP the last 4 years. If we're being honest, it's a stretch where LeBron probably could have won MVP 8 years straight.
If we're being honest,
but because the individuals that vote on that award get so tired of voting for the same person, they search for different ways.
It's called
to find somebody else.
Yep, it's called
exactly. They search for different ways to put somebody as MVP. Same with Album of the Year. You hardly see somebody repeat as Album of the Year. I don't know that as fact. I'm just gonna say that I think you hardly see somebody repeat as having multiple album of the years back to back to back to back. It may be a stretch of time where they have had album of the year, and then 4 or 5 years later, or 8 years later, they come up with another album of the year, because typically artists aren't like what they used to. They used to put out an album every year. Now they stretch it out. They put an album every 3 to 4 years. So I can understand both sides of it. I definitely think Jay-Z has a point when he says, by their own metrics, it doesn't make sense for her not to have an album of the year. If you can say the art of every other thing, a single song or a couple of songs of, her album generally is good art, but she can't get the most prestigious sought after award as a recording artist, as album of the year, that doesn't make sense. But I'm sure that people would get tired if Beyonce won album of the year and multiple awards, including that, every time she put an album out.
See, the crazy thing is that Jay-Z, he ain't do it as flagrantly as Kanye did, but he stole the book out of Kanye. He went up on stage with Taylor Swift and was like, this woman had, he stood up for Beyonce too. It was like, there's no way you won this because she did this. Like, what do you mean? But I just looked it up. Taylor Swift has won album of the year 4 times. Not back. There's nobody who's done it back to back. Yeah. Nobody has done it back to back, but she won it in 2010, 2016, 2021, and now recently 2024. Okay. She's won it 4 times. So
how many albums does she have out? Does she have 4 albums out?
Don't know, but I can check. How many albums?
I mean, that's also another thing too. I feel like Beyonce probably did
14.
not want.
She's got 14 albums.
14 albums out. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, but I know she took some albums back and then she redid them so that they're in, like, they're mastered. She gets the masters, right?
Right.
But to me, that also says that maybe Beyonce didn't want Jay-Z to mention that in that fashion, but secretly she wants that recognition of having album of the year. With all the fame, all the notoriety that she has, you would think somebody in her position really wouldn't care about that. But, we can't really listen to what people say publicly most times, because as an artist, you want to be recognized by your peers as having whatever the most prestigious award is, especially if you're as decorated as somebody like a Beyonce.
Yes.
So I think secretly, or maybe even publicly, I don't know. I know, again, I'm guilty by association as a beehiver, but I don't know if Beyonce has ever mentioned publicly that she really wants to have the album of the year. I mean, obviously about how hard she works, she's showing that she wants it, but has she ever mentioned it publicly? Probably not. So in private with Jay-Z and some of her family members, she probably feels like this is the year I get album of the year. And she's been let down so many times. So Jay-Z, preemptively is like, y'all not doing right by my wife.
Exactly. So I think my last question to the topic would be, is Taylor Swift the Tom Brady of the Grammys? Is she the GOAT? Well, is Taylor the GOAT? Is Taylor the GOAT?
Well, if we're talking about album of the years, especially if that's seen as the highest of the high awards for the Grammys, how many Grammys does she have total? Because if Beyonce has 32 Grammys, I want to say
she's got 14, but let me make sure.
Okay. Beyonce has 32 Grammys, and that's the most. That's more than Michael Jackson. That's more than, all the great acts. She's got 14 musically. Okay.
Before those 14 are album of the year, though.
Exactly. So that holds a lot of weight, but I don't know. I mean, the GOAT of the Grammys.
I would go so far as to say, when it comes to these two people we talk about,
they close.
No, I don't think so. I think Beyonce is Tom, Taylor is Patrick.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor Swift's been in the game for a bit, though.
She's been in the game around the same amount of time. I'm not gonna lie.
No. I don't think so.
Beyonce's been out longer for sure. Yeah.
Beyonce's been out for 20 plus years. 2003 was when she released "Dangerously in Love." I think
but she was Taylor out before that with
with Destiny's Child, right?
Child too. Yeah. So yeah, facts. So Taylor is younger in the game. She's more of the Patrick Mahomes of the game to me. I think Beyonce, when it comes to women's artists, she's the Tom Brady of the game. To me,
she definitely can catch Beyonce, especially if Beyonce takes some time off again. Which I don't know. I mean, do you think? I was going to ask, do you think?
I mean, she's 18. Album? She's 18 ahead of Taylor right now as far as total Grammys. I don't know if Taylor's catching her, but she got four things that Jay-Z says that Beyonce deserves. So
right.
Who knows, man? Who knows? But moving into the last actual topic of the day, D-Lo. So Tom MacDonald is a Canadian rapper, and he promotes himself as a anti-woke artist. He most recently put out a song called Facts. And just to read a little bit of the chorus of the album, I'm not going to go through a lot of the actual lyrics, but just to read the chorus of the album. The chorus says, "This ain't rap. This ain't money, cars, and clothes. We ain't selling drugs. We ain't gonna overdose. We ain't pushing guns and promoting stripper poles. We won't turn your sons into thugs or your daughters into 304s. 304s. He says, I don't care if I offend you. I was put here to upset you. You can cry, you can scream, you can ride in the streets. You defund the police. Now there's no one to protect you. I hope I offend you. I ask myself, what would Ben do?" Ben Shapiro, he's featured on this song. "Let's just keep it real. Facts, don't care how you feel. Man, if you want my pronouns, I'm the man who don't respect you." So Tom MacDonald went on Piers Morgan and kind of defended what he said in this song. Piers Morgan brought Talib Kweli and DJ Vlad, who are two big names in the hip hop game. Talib Kweli, who I respect as a rapper, is one of those conscious rappers that the old heads will talk about, right? And he's done a lot for the game of hip hop with Talib Kweli and Mos Def, Black Star. He's one of the most notable conscious rappers in the game that brought the game up.
Yep.
I feel like, went on Piers Morgan with an agenda, talking about a lot of racial things, talking about politics, and talking about how three white guys, Piers Morgan, DJ Vlad, and Tom MacDonald, don't deserve to talk about hip hop in a sense. So, D-Lo, my question to you is, do you agree with some of the things that Talib Kweli said, or was he up there to push an agenda, basically?
I mean, he was up there to push an agenda, but I think for a person like Talib Kweli, he has a right to say what he said about that song in a sense. And the reason I want to also say that DJ Vlad was up there with Talib Kweli in defense of hip hop not appreciating Tom MacDonald's song. I'll also say, before you brought this up, I never knew who Tom MacDonald was. Obviously, I knew who Ben Shapiro was.
But go ahead.
Yeah, I knew who Ben Shapiro was for various reasons, but I had never heard of this song. But it's apparently everything that Tom MacDonald puts out is highly popular on YouTube, and it's a lot of people that listen to his music. As far as the agenda and the political thing, in your intro of the segment, you said Tom MacDonald himself says that he's an anti-woke rapper. Anti-woke is it's a whistle blow to certain section of individuals. When you talk about being anti-woke, that in itself is talking about a racial agenda that a certain group pushes. So, or no, I shouldn't say that. It's a multifaceted agenda push it for social issues, whether that be gender equality, racial issues, whatever. Anti-woke that's what that is. So when you make a song like this, and he has multiple songs, I don't have an issue with the song. If you listen to it, I don't have an issue with it either. If you listen to it, it's interwoven with a lot of things that are social issues in America right now. And so you have to really dissect what he's saying. But the chorus is where, and that's what most people listen to anyway. The chorus is really like front and center of, I think, the meat and potatoes of where people have an issue with this song. Was Talib Kweli up there to push agenda? Absolutely, because the agenda is being pushed on hip hop with what Tom MacDonald was saying. So you said that he says, this ain't rap, this ain't money, cars, and clothes. We ain't selling drugs, we ain't gonna overdose, we ain't pushing guns, we ain't promoting stripper poles. We won't turn your sons into thugs or your daughters into hoes. So he's talking about rap specifically. And so I feel like Talib Kweli went up there with agenda because him as a conscious rapper, that's not what he rap about.
Agreed.
Every rapper does not rap about that type of stuff.
Agreed.
But most mainstream rap nowadays, that's what it is. And so now we feel like, it's just like you can't come in my house and tell me how to clean my house. I might know it's dirty. You know what I mean? I might know there's some things out of place, but you can't come in my house and tell me, oh, you need to put this here. This is where it goes. You don't live here. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I think that's the approach that Talib Kweli as well as DJ Vlad was taking is, you might rap, but you're not hip hop. So you can't tell us what is wrong with our community, what is wrong with hip hop.
But who is Talib Kweli to say that Tom McDonald, who considers himself a rapper, is not hip hop? Hip hop ain't black. Is the thing. Hip hop came up with black people. Black people have made hip hop what it is, but there's so many different. There's so many different. What am I trying to say? There's so many different ethnicities, for lack of a better word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so many different ethnicities
black
and everything.
People. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Exactly. But hip hop, black ain't hip hop. Black can be multiple things. Black can be astronomy. Black can be architecture. Black can be doctors. Black can be a lot of things. Hip hop isn't solely just hip hop. And that's what I was trying.
Yeah, but I think there's a battle with everything in this country. And so this is why I say it's an identity battle though. Yeah. Yeah, I don't truly have an issue with the song, and I don't even really truly, because I listened to a bunch of other stuff that Tom McDonald did after we said we was going to talk about this. And like I said, he does have a lot of he interweaves a lot of racial and social issues into his songs. Mm-hmm. And so you have to be mature enough to decipher if it's something that really bothers you or if he's just bringing up the issue to talk about it. This song is a little bit different because he's towing that line very heavily. Right. Because you can't. Who do they say riot in the streets? You don't never hear them say white people riot in the streets. It's always when the black people, when BLM was out, oh, this is going to be a riot. You got to protect yourself. Then you say you defund the police so nobody's to protect you. Okay, if nobody's going to protect us, who do we need protecting from?
Got you.
You see what I'm saying? So he's towing that line. He's towing that line heavily because they didn't say that about, and I'm not saying it was just white people that was with the January 6th thing, but they didn't say that about that. Mm-hmm. They didn't say it was a riot. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now they do, like people in the government and stuff, but initially it wasn't a riot. You know what I mean? So, and I don't mean to bring that up. I don't get political, but but I'm saying I don't have an issue with Tom McDonald, but it's an identity thing because I was going to talk about this week, but I decided not to. When black people started doing more country, there are some people Lil Nas X, before we knew he was gay. Mm-hmm. When he first did Old Country Road, and he classified it as country, what did they say? This ain't country. He don't know what country is, but we can't say that about time. So that's the thing. It's a lot of identity crises that's going on within various genres of whatever, music, art, you name it. We're just being divided at all costs right now. And so
I agree.
Yes, Talib Kweli was pushing the agenda, but I think he was trying to combat the lyrics of what Tom McDonald and Ben Shapiro were saying.
But did he take it too far in a sense to say that he was talking about presidencies? He was talking about how John Legend isn't Piers Morgan's slave, and he was talking about a lot of stuff that didn't. I feel like he was being overly emotional with a lot of things that he was bringing up in defense of hip hop from Tom McDonald that didn't fit the subject at hand. Like he was talking about how DJ Vlad is culture vulturing and all this other stuff. I'm like,
well, he said most people within hip hop would say DJ Vlad is culture vulturing, and he was trying to connect that with how people feel about Tom McDonald.
I got
right. I got and that was rooted in a question that Piers Morgan asked.
True.
And but so he responded.
But then he tried to bring it back to black people where some people would say black people will get called culture vultures too. I've never heard a black person be called a culture vulture. Where is that?
I've heard it.
It's
very infrequent.
But I guess in your example about Lil Nas X and Old Town Road, maybe he was trying to culture vulture a little bit as far as the country, you know what I'm saying, type of thing. But it's very, like you said, it's very infrequent where you would hear the black community be called culture vultures of anything.
Yeah, it's very infrequent. More than likely, it's going to be somebody outside of black.
Yeah, there's a lot of communities outside of black that try to come into the black community and vulture off of because we're seen as, you know, cool and hip and all this other, you know what I'm saying? People want to be that, right? So it's like, I don't know. I just think Talib Kweli was I think he was out of pocket, low key. And it hurt me to hear it because I respect Talib Kweli as an artist. And I understand that he wanted to defend art and defend the conscious rappers, and what he's talking about is not all rap. Yes, I agree with you. But from what is in the mainstream rap right now is exactly what Tom McDonald is talking about. Your Sexy Reds of the world. Freaking 21 Savage got a song on this album called Red Rum. If you know what Red Rum is, spin it. Put it backwards. So it's like you talking about all this stuff that our younger kids, we gotta, just like I said this a couple of times on the show. You got little 3 to 8 year old girls dancing to Sexy Red. Like, bend that ass over, let that coochie breathe. What are we talking about, bro? Like, that right there is what Tom McDonald is talking about. Now, he doesn't say that in the song because he's towing the line, like D-Lo said, and he says it himself in the interview that he's a very call to action rapper. He puts out songs depending on the reaction of his audience. He puts out the song based on that reaction. So he's a call to action rapper. So it's one of those things where, yeah, he's going to toe the line because he's anti-woke. He wants to offend. He says it in the song. I was put here to upset you. So, you know, but then Talib Kweli talks about how Tom McDonald, which wasn't talked about in the interview, about he's a recovering addict. What does that have to do with the music? It's nothing to do with the music. Like, now you're trying to, you see what I'm saying? Like, I just didn't like how he acted in that interview. It kind of made me mad, low key. I ain't gonna lie.
So I think you have to look, and this is the lens that I looked at it in, is Talib Kweli, the type of rapper he is the perfect person. I wouldn't say perfect, but he would be the ideal candidate to come back and combat that. Maybe not in the approach that he took, but with just the type of music that he makes. And so the reason that he went that route is to discredit. So, you know, obviously when you debate somebody, when you debate somebody, you look for ways to discredit what they're saying. And so that was a route he decided to take as a way to discredit everything that Tom McDonald had said about hip hop in itself. And so Tom McDonald himself, not in the interview with Piers Morgan, but in one of his songs called Dear Slim, which he was talking to Eminem, he talks about how he was a drug addict and whatnot, just like Eminem, and then, you know, changed his life and all that stuff and got help and wasn't addicted to the pills and stuff anymore. And so that's what Talib Kweli was saying, was it wasn't necessarily hip hop that did this to you. You know, you have your own issues as well. And so, I mean, it may seem like he had gone too far, but I think he was just trying to discredit what Tom McDonald specifically was saying about hip hop in this song.
I can dig it, man. And I do appreciate Talib Kweli coming up and defending conscious rap, because you need somebody to defend it, especially in the climate that we're in right now with the status of hip hop that where it's at. You need somebody to defend conscious rap. We need more conscious rappers out there talking about, you know, shit that ain't got nothing to do with, like he said, stripper poles and thugs and killing and drugs and yada yada yada. That's what's in the media right now. That's what they're feeding to our young kids right now in mainstream media. But I don't know.
And that's the issue. That's the issue.
Talk about it, D-Lo.
Yes, hip hop. Yes, hip hop right now. That's where hip hop is. The mass majority of hip hop talks about drugs, misogynistic topics, as well as violence. But it's because You said it's in the media. Media is to control the mind. You, if I'm a record company, I'm technically a part of a media conglomerate. Typically, that's how it is. If I'm saying, okay, I'm signing off on you to release this music, and I know that this stuff is in there, it is, yeah, the rappers talking about it, but I'm saying it's okay to release it. How many independent artists do we know of release that type of music?
Not many.
Not many. Not many. So that's the issue. It's the media isn't allowing this. And this is why I said I don't really have an issue with Tom McDonald, because he is talking about social and social issues that need to be talked about. Does it upset some groups? Yes, it upsets groups. But I said this last week. Emotion creates action, creates movement, creates motion. So if you get mad about something, or if you create enough emotion about a specific topic, it will make you want to do something about it. You can either keep it the same way or you can change it. And so we need to figure out a way to change this. How do we change it? I don't know. I don't have the solution to that. But it's not, mainstream media is the reason that this type of stuff has gone on, because and I'm never here to censor anybody. And I know that they say that we're not censoring anybody. But in 1991, 1992, you was throwing people's CDs in the streets and burning them and whatnot. I mean, I guess you're buying the CD, so you're contributing to the album sales or whatnot, so you won't do that publicly now. But y'all were so against it. Now it's okay. Why is it okay now? You know what I mean? So that's the thing. It's the mainstream media. And I'm not saying that I'm taking accountability away from the rappers that do rap about that type of stuff, but it's not. If you're talking about rap, why is the reason that rap is talking about this stuff? Why? And then when you get to that, you get to the root of the problem and the situation. We can find a solution to fix it. But until we all can agree, white, black, Mexican, Asian, Indian, until we all can agree that that is an issue, whatever caused the issue to get us to talk about this stuff in music so much and why is it so widely acceptable, till we can get to that, we will never have a solution until we all can agree on that.
I ain't gonna lie, you just went in, bro. You just went in, bro. I'm a hand clap you real quick, bro, because you went in, because everything you just said is the truth. Everything you just said is the truth, and I love what you just said too. You was like, emotion creates motion. Emotion creates movement, and with his song, with Tom McDonald's song, he's creating the emotion that can possibly create movement. So I mean, I like D-Lo said, I agree with Tom McDonald's song. I agree with it. Because I'm one of those guys who that does not enjoy what's going on in music right now. I would much rather more Talib Kweli's come out and make more music for the conscious rap lovers like ourselves. But then again, we go back to the Joe Budden thing, and it's like old heads, the old niggas is like, yo, this ain't music. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't know, bro. I just think I appreciate Talib, but I think the way he went about that interview was ass. I think it was all emotion, bro. And I don't appreciate I appreciate his stance, but I don't appreciate how he went about it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, again, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I feel like he was the perfect, I keep saying perfect, but
yeah,
it was only a select few of individuals that could go on there to combat what Tom McDonald was saying specifically about hip hop or rap. And, you don't really say, are you the right person that needs to be talking about why he shouldn't be talking about this? You know what I mean? So I think the way he approached it may have been slightly off, but he had to do that to discredit. I wouldn't say he had to. I keep conflicted in how I feel about what was necessary to get his point across. But, to discredit Tom McDonald and Ben Shapiro, that's another reason. Okay. Not to make this longer than what it needs to be, but that's another reason, because we know, like, Ben Shapiro wasn't up there in that specific segment, but Piers Morgan had referenced that he talked to Ben Shapiro earlier. And we know Ben Shapiro, he gives facts about why the black group is in the position that they're in and whatnot, and it's hurtful. But we need to hear stuff like that. Even Charleston White says the same type of stuff that Ben Shapiro says, and it's hurtful because we don't want to really hear it, because if we don't hear it, we don't really have to make any changes. But we have to make changes in our community, and so that is what Talib Kweli was doing. Was he was not only referencing and pointing out the discredit Tom McDonald, he was also secretly or I don't know the words I'm trying to say right now. He was also combating Ben Shapiro's position in it as well, because Ben Shapiro was going, Ben Shapiro talks super fast.
He does.
Like, you think you talk fast, and when we listen to it, you don't need to talk fast at all. Honestly, I know I don't talk fast.
Yeah.
But Ben Shapiro talks super fast, but he sounds really intelligent and knowledgeable when he comes with how he discredits individuals. He comes with the facts. So that's what Talib Kweli was trying to do. He was trying to come back with facts to discredit the song Tom McDonald and then Ben Shapiro on the back end.
Yeah, man, because Ben Shapiro said rap ain't music at one point. So
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And that's that's what's gonna piss off a select few of rappers in the industry, like Talib Kweli, like Mos Def, like Jay-Z, like Kendrick, like J. Cole, like the conscious rappers that we actually listen to. That would piss them off because they're rappers who make actual good music. But the rap right now that's in the mainstream media, and just like D-Lo said, the media is to control the mind. This is not music that I'm listening to, bro. When I hear it, I immediately turn it off because it's not what I like to hear, bro. I don't want to hear about your coochie and your butthole and killing somebody and red rum and doing all this. I don't want to hear about the stripper poles and the drugs, and I don't want to hear about it. I don't. That's not the music I want to hear. That's not what I want my daughter to hear. That's what I want. That's not what I want my future kids to hear. That's not what I want the 3 to 8 year old girls twerking to Sexy Red. That's not what I want them. That's not what I want to see. So yes, I agree with Tom McDonald. I feel you, Talib, but just the way you went about it was just so ass. But whatever, bro. Yeah.
All right, so Stix, just a couple months ago, we were talking about, we briefly talked about it, but it was heavily viral all over social media of where it is to take your date on the first date, a lady on the first date, a woman on the first date, whatever you want to, whatever you want, wherever you want to talk about it, that's where it was, right? And it was a restaurant in there of where not to go. Applebee's is the restaurant.
Okay.
So Applebee's said, "Oh, y'all say y'all don't want to come to Applebee's for the first date. All right, we're going to give you the opportunity to win a $200 date night pass, which gives you access to a year's worth of $1,500 worth of meals that you can come to Applebee's and eat for $200. I've never had Applebee's, and to be honest with you, I don't think this would change my mind, but I'm interested to hear how you feel about this $200 date night pass that Applebee's released last month, and then yesterday, February 9th, was the last day that you could enter in to be selected to win this pass. What's your thoughts on that?
So first of all, I'm astonished to hear you say that you've never had Applebee's.
I've never had Applebee's. Never had Applebee's. I think the closest thing I've had to Applebee's, which I still rock with to this day, it wouldn't be a place that I go for a first date, or maybe not even a date, period, is Chili's. The triple dipper and the cookie skillet. Oh, it's the same. Okay, that's what I thought.
It's basically the same thing. Yeah, it's
okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. Triple dipper and the cookie skillet is my go-to.
Fire.
Yeah.
I used to bartend at Chili's up in Raleigh. So
okay, right. Yeah, that's my go-to every time, bro. I didn't know it was the same thing.
It's basically the same thing. Chili's and Applebee's is like what Carl's Jr. and Hardee's. Same thing, basically.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense. But why is it a Chili's and an Applebee? Because typically, before you get into it, typically like with Carl's Jr., that's more West Coast.
It's more of a West Coast.
You don't see Carl's Jr. Like in Fayetteville, it used to be a Hardee's. You don't see it too much anymore, but you never saw Carl's Jr. and Hardee's in the same area. Like here though is Applebee's and a Chili's.
Agreed. No, but what I mean
Are you
by
saying
that
it's
is
the same company, just different name, or are
No,
you
I'm
saying
saying
that
that
they're similar to each other?
what I'm saying that is they're heavily similar. That's what I'm saying. They're heavily
Okay,
similar.
but they're not
from
the same company.
The deals, from the deals, the type of food that
I
they
got you.
serve, the desserts, they're very heavily similar. That's what I'm saying.
But not the same company.
But not the same company as a Carl's Jr. Hardee's. That was a bad analogy by me. My bad.
I got you. But
very heavily similar. It's heavily similar, right?
Got you.
So me and Sam love Applebee's. That's one of our go-to places when we're like, damn, I'm hungry. Sam, what you want to eat? She was like, well, can we go to Applebee's? Cool, let's go to Applebee's. It's right up the street. You know, me and her can get a meal, some drinks, and a dessert for $30. We cool it. We chill it, right? If me being me, I would be like, I don't think that would be somewhere I would take somebody on the first date either. But I also believe in the first date not being multi-$100 date. I also agree with 100%. I also agree with that too. So I can't sit here and say that Applebee's wouldn't be a first date place for me, because I agree with spending $30 on a date to get to know somebody and have that connection first before I start spending hundreds of dollars on trips and dinners and all this other shit. I agree with that portion. But somebody like me and the woman that I'm with, that would be great, to be perfectly honest. Like, I would do that. Not gonna lie to you, I would probably do that because I've had Applebee's. I enjoy Applebee's, and if you've had Chili's, you've had Applebee's, because it's basically the same shit. So,
got it.
If you enjoy Applebee's and the triple dipper and the skillet, you gonna love Applebee's too. But I agree with you with the first date thing. Maybe that's not a first date atmosphere, but you can get everything. You can get food, you can get drinks, you can get dessert, you can have a good time and watch. Well, not too many women are into sports that much, but you can do everything at Applebee's. I fuck with Applebee's.
You'd be surprised, bro.
Yo, you would be, but you know, it's a minority of women who enjoy sports, and there's a majority of men that enjoy it. You see what I'm saying?
Might be more now with Taylor Swift.
Big facts. Big facts. And if Beyonce got into it, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But nah, I think that would be dope, to be perfectly honest. But if I'm doing like a first date thing, if I wasn't in a relationship and I was doing a first date thing, I don't think Applebee's would be the place that I would choose.
But what about the $200 pass though?
But that's what I'm saying. Like the $200 pass, but it's meant for like first date type of vibe, right?
That's the title is called,
right?
Yeah, the title, I wouldn't say first date, but the title of the pass is date night pass. So so to me, that's saying, oh, y'all saying we ain't worthy of being a first date? We gonna pull these receipts up, see how many of y'all actually say that y'all gonna, you know what I mean? That's where I took it as. Now I've never, like I said, I've never been to Applebee's, and I kind of figured it was the same as Chili's, but I've never stepped foot in the Applebee's. However, I don't even think I would take, as much as I like Chili's, I wouldn't have a first date there. Now, is it beneath me to go to Chili's for a first date? Not saying that whatsoever. Is it beneath me to go to Applebee's? Not saying that. But would it be my choice? No. I would probably go to an ice cream shop before I go to an Applebee's or a Chili's for, you know what I mean?
Coffee shop, something like that.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Picnic, something, you know what I'm saying?
But this $200 date night pass, when I saw it, I was like, that still ain't changing. That still ain't like enough to move me to say, oh, I'm gonna go try Applebee's out. Now, like Spirit came out, or Frontier, or one of those cheaper airlines came out with a similar pass where you could fly unlimited or for cheaper for like
$600 for a year or something like that, right?
Yeah, I think it was 6 months. It was like $300.
Yeah, something like
or
that.
Something like that. That made me think like, dang, where I want to go. Like, you know what I mean? Let me try that out. But before that, I've never flown on any of those airlines other than Delta, American, Spirit, so on, or U.S. Airs.
Spirit is hard for us tall dudes,
right? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying to you. That pass made me rethink that. Whereas this was like, nah, I still don't move me enough.
It's not moving the needle at all. It's not moving the needle. Not for me either, honestly, because I wouldn't do it as like a date night pass type of. It would be something like, okay, shit, we just got finished. We just came home from a long trip. You want something to eat? Let's stop at Applebee's real quick. Get something real quick. Get up out of here type. It's not a date night vibe for me. honestly.
Yeah.
So if I'm with my lady and we date nighting it, I'm taking my lady somewhere nice. I'm not taking my lady to Applebee's. You know what I'm saying? If we
Right.
date nighting it, but if it, especially, but I don't know, bro. It's just weird. But see, my lady ain't that type. She will be like, "Shit, let's go to Applebee's." I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
My wife ain't that type, but what I'm saying is, and again, it's not beneath me to go there,
Right.
but it's
It
not
ain't
my
either. No,
first choice.
for sure.
Yeah, it's not a choice of mine.
For sure. Bruh, so I'm scared of AI. I've been on record on the podcast saying I'm scared of AI and these robots taking our jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the report of the Florida woman dying after a surgical robot burned a hole in her intestine during the operation?
Yeah. So your wife, your
You
lady
can say
probably
it.
shared. I was about to say wife.
You can say
Your lady
it.
probably shared that with you.
No, she didn't. I found it
Because
myself, but still,
okay,
yeah.
well, my wife shared that with me, so I only assume that she shared it with you. But anyway, yeah. So I saw that.
Yeah.
But to me, that's not anything. I don't even know what the question is, but to me, that's not the.
It wasn't necessarily
That's
going to be a
not too
question. I was just going
concerning.
to kind of read what happened and ask your
Yeah,
feelings on it. So you say it's not concerning.
it's not
Talk
too
about it.
concern. To me, it's not too concerning because that would be like a plane crash happening. In all honesty, because for the last 10 years, hold on, the last 10 robots are used more in the operating room than you think.
I agree. I agree.
Now, are there like self-performing robots that many? I don't think there is, and I don't know if this one is either. But it's just like that. To me, it's just like that Tesla segment that we had a couple weeks back, where the headlines made it seem like it was something that it really wasn't. But I don't know. I didn't dig deep into it. I saw it, but to me, it's not that concerning.
It's I don't like it. I don't like it because it's like, and you made the distinction between these robots and airplane crashes, but it's like a lot of airplane crashes have to do with human error as well. I don't think it's a lot of mechanical issues with the planes that call. Maybe it is. I'm gonna have to look back and look at the stats and see how many, and that's kind of tragic to think about. But and this is tragic to think about as well. But it's like it's just baffling to me that we're going into this age where tech is taking over and AI is taking over, robots are taking over, and somebody's life is at the hand of a mechanical thing and that is supposed to do what a surgeon, a human, would do.
Mm-hmm.
I think the robots have a lot less of, there is no human error, so there's a lot less outcome of something like this happening with a robot.
There is no human error
because it's a robot. It's a robot.
Okay.
So you're taking the human error out of it because you have the robot that's supposed to be very exact or precise.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? But in this instance, that robot wasn't exact or precise. And how often will this happen moving forward? I would much rather have a human do this surgery than a robot.
But the question is was there a human? Was the robot functioning completely on its own, or was there a human controlling it?
Let's read it. So it says a Florida woman tragically lost her life after a surgical robot allegedly burned a hole in her intestine during a routine operation. The incident has sparked a federal wrongful death lawsuit filed by her grieving husband, who seeks justice for his late wife. Let's see. Sandra's procedure, aimed at treating her colon cancer, involved the use of a Da Vinci robot advanced electrosurgical instrument known as EndoWrist, which mimic a surgeon's hand moments in real time. Mimics a surgeon's hand movements in real time. Tragically, it injured her small intestine, leading to a perforation and necessitating further medical intervention. Despite sustaining in 2021, Sandra's condition deteriorated rapidly. She experienced excruciating abdominal pain and developed a persistent fever. Ultimately, she succumbed to her injuries in February 2022, leaving her family devastated and seeking answers. So it don't say if there was a doctor in the operating room with her doing this surgery with the robot. It just says it's supposed to mimic a surgeon independently of the surgeon.
What was the name of that bot?
The Da Vinci robot known as the EndoWrist.
EndoWrist.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my question though is, do you feel the same way about cars?
The self-driving Jones?
Just cars in general. Because anything that's a machine or a robot these days is put under the umbrella of AI. And realistically, artificial intelligence isn't every freaking robot that we have. A computer, well, that would be a bad example because a computer can.
Even a car, other than the ones that self-driving, is a bad example because we are manually operating that vehicle.
Well, it's not necessarily a bad example because, okay, so if the airbag doesn't work, you're going to say you're scared of AI?
No.
Exactly, but that's a sensor. When the car is in an impact, the sensor says, "Oh, car's impact, the airbags." But that's what I'm saying. Because the reason I'm saying that is because I don't really know if this is truly self-driving or self-reliance on the machine, or if a person is involved on the back end with controlling it. Yeah. Right. And so I feel like this is another way of scaring us into accepting that robots will be our future shortly, right? Now, there are things about artificial intelligence and there are things about the way in which we're moving that can be frightening about artificial intelligence. But again, emotion causes motion. And so if we're saying, oh, a Tesla robot killed or injured an employee in the shop, it's not really, was it the actual bot that they're talking about coming with 2 years? No, it wasn't. It was a damn robot that they use in the automotive division, right? In their factories.
Yeah.
Was this robot that quote unquote killed this woman, which you just said in what you read, she died 2 years later. So, I mean, can we say that's the cause of it? More than likely we can, but she didn't die immediately from that. She was injured from it. Yes. Okay. I'm not trying to discredit that.
Right.
But was that actual machine doing that on its own will? Or
was a surgeon operating it?
A surgeon operating that?
Makes sense.
That's the thing that I'm saying.
That makes sense. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you because just like you said, in the sense of the car, we are the surgeon operating the machine in that instance, right?
Right.
If that is the case, so I feel you whenever if a sensor goes out or your brakes stop working some kind of way and you get in an accident. Okay, I agree with you in that instance. But if this robot is acting independently on its own, it's supposed to, like it says, mimic the wrist motions of a surgeon, and it's doing it based on calculated type of things that it's supposed to do based on AI, then that shit's scary. Not gonna lie, that shit's scary. And I would much rather the surgeon be in there with his own wrist, chefing it up in the kitchen, cooking chicken like a stir fry in my shit, as opposed to this damn robot. But I mean, I get it. I see what you're saying, and maybe I shouldn't be as scared as I am. It's just spooky, bro. It's just spooky, cuz.
No, I definitely get it. I'm trying to see if this is self-operated, though. It's not really saying that. It just says what you said. So I'm imagining that they pulled that from this actual site for Da Vinci surgery instruments. It says intuitive surgical patent EndoWrist instruments are designed to provide surgeons with natural wrist dexterity while operating through small incisions. So for me, that
right there says that surgeons are operating it. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. I hear you. That makes me think that a surgeon is operating it through the machine itself. So I see what you're saying.
It's the part that's designed to provide surgeons with natural wrist dexterity while operating through small incisions. That's the part that's like, okay, somebody's controlling that, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
No. I see where you could draw that conclusion from that sentence. I see, because I drew the same conclusion you did, so I see that.
Right,
I can see that. Yeah. So, real quick, D-Lo. So, there's one woman that has ended careers when she got into a relationship with somebody. Who is that person, bro? Athletes. Ended athletes' careers.
Oh. Are we talking about Kimberly?
We're talking about Kimberly and our boy Odell. So it has recently been reported that Odell Beckham Jr. and Kim Kardashian have been reportedly starting to get serious after his breakup, which I think is stupid. To be perfectly honest, I think Lolo was
him leaving Lolo, bless her. God, dog, bless
it, because he left Lolo after she just had his baby. Baby got to be not even 2 years yet. After she just had a baby for him, and now he's in a relationship with Kim Kardashian. To me, Kim Kardashian, whenever you get into a relationship with Kim, your career is gone, because she's done it to Chris Humphries, Reggie Bush, most recently Kanye, who's been on a tangent since he divorced her. So it's like, what is Odell thinking, bro? Number one, leaving Lolo, and then number two, getting in a relationship with this motherfucker. If y'all have anything, the only thing I gave her credit for on this show is Skims, because her business acumen is amazing. But everything other than that, I don't fuck with Kim. I don't know how y'all feel about it in the comments, but I don't mess with Kim. How do you feel about this, bro? Because I feel like, before you start, I think Odell's career is already it's been on a decline. So I don't think it's going to affect his career as what her history says it probably would. But still, it's Kim K. Like, why are you doing this? She jumped from she's on the CC. I don't know if y'all know what the CC is, but it's called the Cock Carousel. She then jumped off Ye to Pete to now. She done jumped from Ye. She done jumped from Ye to Pete. Now jumping to you in the past year and a half?
To me, damn. Okay.
Odell. I'm talking to Odell. Bless him.
Bless me. I'll take a couple million and be on my way.
but I don't know why Odell did this, bro. How do you feel about this new relationship with Kim K and Odell Beckham,
bro? I mean, I'm similar to you. I shouldn't say I'm similar to you. I'm similar to you in the fashion of, I don't think that if I'm an athlete or if I'm somebody that has had some type of success in anything, really, that I would be attaching my name with Kim K. And it's not to paint Kim K in a bad light, but it's just like, she has been with multiple men, married multiple men. And so, and there's nothing wrong with that. I want to say, because there are plenty of women that are not Kim K that have been in multiple marriages and have divorced and have, but I don't know. I guess as the male ego in me, I don't want a woman that has been known to be have been with multiple men before me. So, and I don't know, man. I don't know how to explain it. I wouldn't be comfortable with that. And for Odell, like you said, his career is declining, so it's not much, like, he's not falling from grace, so to speak. He's kind of just easily transitioning into life after football. Him leaving Lolo is mind blowing to me. But y'all know, or y'all don't know, Stix know how we feel about Lolo. Lolo is a beautiful woman, but everything that glitters ain't gold. So
true. So who knows what may be something behind the scenes, true.
Right. Must be something there. But then, and the flip side of that, it must be something outside of what we know about Kim K that's drawing all of these men, all these men to her. But because, I mean, like, naturally, men, we use our vision.
We visual by nature.
We use our vision to attract us to women,
initially.
Yeah, right. Initially. So that's what draws us to them. And then but it's got to be something that keeps them there, or at least makes them want to say, let's go to the next step. But the problem
is, though, D-Lo, is there's nothing that's keeping Kim there. So that's the problem to me, is that we see Kim in all her beauty, right?
Yeah.
But and to your point, I don't want. It's not that I don't want a woman that's a known thought don't want that.
Yeah.
That don't want a woman that's a known thought. That's not a good look for her. That's definitely not a good look for me. If I'm wife at a known thought, that's in our community. That's cardinal sin number one. No wife at a known thought.
And then the natural rebuttal to that is, how many of us actually have wifed the known thought, but she's not Kim K. You know what I mean?
I don't give a fuck how much money Kim K got, bro. I'm not wifing her, cuz.
No, what I'm saying is how many of us actually have done it. We just don't really know it because they're not Kim K. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't really. I wouldn't want that. Insane. I wouldn't want that, but I mean, how many of us have done it? Everybody has a past, man. We live in an age where hookup culture was a thing.
Indeed.
And indeed. Technically still is. It still is. I mean, might be thriving even.
We're still in hookup culture, 100%.
Yeah, so we're still everybody got bodies.
Everybody got bodies on. What old boy say on Snowfall? Bodies.
Yeah.
Bodies.
Right. Yeah.
Him, her.
Right. Exactly. Everybody got it, man. So
that's true. But it's.
I understand where the question is coming from, but
that's just insane, bro. She is an ex-wife of like 5 people, and is
well-known people too,
and garnered her fame off that shit. And you wifing her.
Not hot, but yeah.
And you wifing her. That to me, that's not appealing to me. That's not appealing to me. And me as a normal regular schmegular dude, if I had the opportunity to wife Kim K, I'm not doing it. That's me being 100% real. I'm not doing it. I can't. Would I clap the cheeks? Yes. But I'm not wifing Shorty. I'm not wifing Shorty. I'm not wifing Shorty. Shorty is never going to be my girlfriend. Never will be my girlfriend or my wife, period. Not doing it, bro.
Even if she threw you a couple mil?
Man, sugar mama for sure. But wife? No. Bars.
Nah, I mean, I definitely get it. It's the male ego in us, man. And the same thing can be said about Odell's baby mama Lolo. It's like she is an Instagram girl. I've never seen. I don't know who she's dated prior to Odell.
I don't know who she's dated prior to Odell.
But she's not Kim K, right? Like Kim K's history is extensive and well known.
Everybody knows about
it. But Lolo is not on the stage of Kim K. So
as far as financially, as far as like her fame,
everything,
everything,
yeah,
okay.
everything.
I agree.
Just financially, everything.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that. But but you, in everybody's eyes, Lolo was the good girl. But then now you go into Kim.
Yeah,
that's insane, bro. That's insane, bro. To me, this in my eyes,
But apparently they had something going on before. But I don't know for sure. I can't say. I don't know.
Maybe it's
I'm not really in that. I'm not really in that gossip stuff. So but the male ego is very fragile, and so there are a lot of things that get to us that we really probably shouldn't worry about. But, we get away from traditions, and this is where we are in life. These type of things is like, do we accept it or don't we accept it? And a lot of us are accepting it. And then those that don't accept it, we get told that we ain't nothing because we won't accept what is being handed to us. And so this is what's causing a lot of gender wars. This is what's causing a lot of friction between male and females and so on and so forth. So
I don't know, man. But it is what it is, man. Odell, I wish you the best. Kim K.
If she a billionaire, she ain't worried about us.
She might they ain't even gonna hear this, bro. They ain't even gonna hear it. So it's
know what I mean? Hey, so Stix, man, episode 55.
55, cuz. 55.
Yeah, we at the half century mark in 5.
Double nickel.
Yeah. Jay Will in
Jay
this
Will
bit.
in the building. Yeah,
White Chocolate. If y'all don't know, go look him up. Anyway, episode 55 in the books. We want to thank y'all for tuning in to I feel like I need to find something different for this. And so that's be my mission, is to find a better way to get out of this show is the better way to end the show.
I love it, bro. What you be saying is impactful to me.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I mean, it is good, but I feel like it needs to find something else. But anyway, thanks for tuning in to Too Complex. We want to remember that life is too short and oftentimes complex, but when it becomes too complex, don't be afraid to lean on those that you know and love to help you through the ups and downs of life, find simplicity and balance in life. Stay prayed up in this crazy world. A couple of prayers thrown above can send down peace and sanity. I want to thank you for loving and supporting this podcast. It means the world to us. We're sending our love right back to you. Don't forget to subscribe to wherever you listen to your podcast, and also follow us on all of your social media platforms. That's YouTube, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. As always, if it ain't too complex, it ain't complex at all. Until next time, we'll see you when you see you. Salute.